Okay. Hi. I recently wrote the post and sent the same post in a letter to several of my senators that it isn't okay to be a capitalist anymore. Not in America. And I did not do this as a bad thing. So this video isn't a commendation, it's a celebration! The title is Hyperbole! Yay! Celebrate! The big deal isn't that it isn't okay to be capitalist, but it's okay to not be. A lot of people in America conflate and confuse the differences between capitalism and freedom and democracy, and they really pack those in together. And that is a huge mistake for our economy and our well-being. Like, I can't deal with people. But this video is partially a celebration that mostly it's okay to not be a capitalist in America, which for the last 70 years has been a kind of huge deal. So, capitalism is not just letting companies do whatever they want. Capitalism is a system of rationing where you use money in order to decide who gets what, and everything, and your job will pay you money or gold, and you use that money or gold in order to get other things, in order to trade. I guess I should be careful not to conflate that having a monetary system and capitalism also are not the same thing. But I don't, because I'm focusing on the social aspect of this. And the social aspect is that you don't have to be a capitalist in America anymore. There was a long time where the Red Scare and where it was considered patriotic in order to be capitalists. And most of the things that make America great, and most of the things that run America, are not capitalist driven. And most of the worst things are. For example, toll booths. Toll booths pop up, like they're the worst part of every sitcom and every experience. You have to slow down, you have to pay 60 cents for no reason, you can keep driving, or $1 or $5 or $8.56 if you're on the worst highway in the world. I'm talking to you, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a gutter of rubbish trash. But things we do like are roads without toll booths, smooth roads that go across America. We like sidewalks. For all the people who might not consider, roads and infrastructure and cell phones and lines to the internet and the internet and hospitals and people that subsidize hospitals, the US military is one such socialist program. The government controls a large mass, it pays for it, it pays contractors to supply it, and then it controls it as it goes throughout the world. That is socialism. We have a socialist military. The point is, you can be a socialist for the first time in so many years without being a joke. You can be a full-on socialist. The thing about privatized versus government-run stuff is they both succeed and fail. For every failure of the government, you can find a bunch of failures in the private sector. For every government enterprise that fails, there's a private enterprise that fails. As often as one fails, the other succeeds. Some things the government handles and it happens really well. We've seen in other countries, healthcare is handled extremely well when it's paid for by the government. And people say those countries have to ration it, but we are rationing our healthcare too. Capitalism is a system of rationing. Richard Wolff does Democracy Now! And he has a video every week updating you about economic policy, economic happenings in the world, and economic news, and how they can be improved by democracy. That's what socialism really is. It's democracy. Where capitalism is an oligarchy of a few hundred people control the United States, as opposed to all the United States, which would be socialism. So all these ideas come to light, mostly because of Bernie Sanders, who ran for president and got to say several of them on several national stages. People who were middling, not party affiliated, heard a voice and they heard a solution for their problem and for the country's problem, and why the problems don't seem to be getting solved. And that's because the problems are the feature. The problems are there on purpose to make it so that corporations can win and so the American people can keep losing. Bernie Sanders brings these things to light. He talks about the donors. He talks about the economy. He talks about how wages aren't being raised even though CEO payment has gone up, and how profits of companies have gone up. Corporations are shifting their factories overseas even though they're not losing money in America. They just could make a little bit more money somewhere else. The income inequality, how all the tax breaks are going to people who don't need them, how government support goes to companies that don't need them. He shines a light on the downtrodden. He talks about Flint, Michigan. In Flint, Michigan, the government used to handle the water and they used to buy it from Detroit in Flint, Michigan. But the city planner decided to let a private organization take over supplying the water. They cut several corners, charged the inhabitants of Flint the most money paid for water in the country, and also poisoned them, and also are still poisoning them. And Bernie Sanders sees this as a problem. And now several people in America see this as a problem. All this stuff is in our attention now, and we see that the blind adherence to capitalism, or what we thought of as capitalism, is really a major driver for all these problems, and a major hindrance to solutions. The problems are the features that the corporations want. So the good news is, it's okay not to be a capitalism. It's okay to be a socialist. It's okay to be a communist. The solution will not be socialism or communism. The solution will be a little bit of all of it. Because like I said in the beginning, for every government operation that fails, a private one succeeds. And for every private organization that fails several times, a government establishment has been made and can run it correctly. And we need to do what works, and what doesn't work is a pure, blind adherence to what we think of as capitalism. Yeah, you! Don't do that to the camera. Kitty. Emma. Why is it now? The idea of this video, and where it kind of started from, what I mentioned, is my blog, Politics Please,
Come sit up
which
here.
I'll link to. And on that, that's where I post my political essays and
there.
letters I write to governors and representatives in order to share my opinion. And I want it as a resource to let you know that you can, feel free to copy my letter and copy parts of it and paste it into your own in order to send it to your representatives and share what you think.
Yeah.
Because direct action like that matters. Writing your representatives is so important and makes such a great impact. And it is true. Every letter you send, someone and their staff has to read. And a lot of senators read them themselves, though. I think a lot of them are getting a lot of earfuls, deservedly. So check out Politics, please, and write your senators. And remember, you don't have to be a capitalist, and probably shouldn't be purely a capitalist. And if you are, you're probably not. Yeah, that's clear. Bye!